Hello, this is just a quick postscript to yesterday's video about moral stories and such like, and the ideas about patriarchy and things like that. Um, but this is a bit of a divergence into a different area, and the area is one which one where I want to have a look at the triads. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna switch this round so we can have a look at that. Yeah. Okay, now the triads in this pattern, yeah, they follow a triangular pattern, as you'd imagine. And what they are is archetypes that all share a common second element. So, for instance, Mother Nature, Patriarch, and Fool, they've all got water second. Enchantress, Warrior, and Sage, they've all got Earth second. Matriarch, Nymph, and Jester, they've all got Air second. And Magician, Actress, and Hearth Priestess have all got Fire second. So that's what we've got in terms of triads. Now, yesterday I was talking about how the patriarch could be seen as this as something which is the kind of like the foundation of our moral stories in a way, and I was just really saying how you couldn't do without this, yeah, essentially, and I was saying that there was a polarization between, say, the world of air and the world of earth in a lot of our thinking about these subjects. There's a lot there about our rupture from nature and our reaction against nature, which is also a reaction against ourselves, because of course we are part of nature. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of things there. But I think one of the things it also brings up for me is that this thing we're calling the patriarch is actually, of course, a part of the natural scheme of things. Yeah, it's not simply something that's been put on top. They can all, or that we've somehow managed to impose upon, the natural scheme of things. It's part of the natural scheme of things. All of these are. Of course, they can all malfunction. They can all become stuck. They can all become, a problem in that way. Yeah, and then you certainly have problems because they become divided from each other. They become isolated. They become separated. They become pitted against each other in various ways, and then we have a problem. But increasingly, I'm thinking of things in terms of the triads is interesting because each of these triads forms like little worlds in themselves in a way, because they all have open and closed archetypes as well as a cardinal archetype, and they have all of the elements between them, albeit with slightly different slantings or slightly different weightings. Yeah. But for instance, with the patriarch, we were talking about the patriarch yesterday, you could see Mother Nature, Patriarch, and the Fool as all part of one thing. And sometimes I think of this in terms of like the quadrant archetypes in a triad actually most naturally belong to the world of the cardinal, because the cardinals are kind of pretty extraordinary. They're very powerful. They take two quadrant archetypes to actually really properly balance them. So Mother Nature needs Patriarch and Fool to sort of like affirm her. Patriarch and Fool naturally affirm each other, but you need both of them to really affirm Mother Nature. Yeah. But one way of looking at this is to say that this thing that we're calling the patriarch, which we often have this idea of as being separated from nature, is actually very much a natural outcropping of nature itself. And that's a way of looking at it. And I find that interesting. I have this real sense that some of the keys to our predicament as human beings with the things we get into in our not being able to accept our own subconscious, not being able to accept the difference of other people, not being able to accept the fact that we are part of nature, not being able to stop resorting to highly ideological solutions to things which just make things worse. Part of the key to that, I think, is looking at the triads, because the triads are harmonious relationships within a very great diversity of characteristics, and you can see that with any of them, like Mother Nature, patriarch, fool, jester, matriarch, nymph, enchantress, warrior, sage, yeah, hearth priestess, actress, magician. If you look at these, and you kind of like reflect on them and go into them, you'll see that they really do have a harmonization between them all. They really work wonderfully together. Yeah. Now the key to that is I think their shared second element, which is in a sense their informing element, their inner element, if you like. I don't think you can't really talk about the archetypes having subconsciousnesses, but it's almost like it's something analogous to a subconscious element. Yeah. But it's the one which drives them from within, which motivates them from within in a sense and guides them from within. So I think that looking at it in terms of the triads could be a real key to our seeing the archetypes in a more unfolded way, and in a way which gives us a way into the union and unity of the entire pattern. Yeah. Rather than getting caught up in, for instance, oh, magician, and these are all air, and these are all water, and these are all fire, these are all earth. That puts you in a kind of pitted, polarized pattern, or one which is predisposed to that. So you can very easily see that, like, look, the air world is going to have a sort of conflict with the earth world, and the fire world is going to have a conflict with the water world. Though there's also, I believe there is also a very deep attraction between these things at another level. But if we almost like defocus our eyes, and rather than seeing in this very brightly contrasted first element pattern, because we're seeing things in terms of first element there, it's like shift back our vision, so we're seeing second element, and then we see patterns of harmony in it. And I think that's the interesting thing. And so the triads, I think, are a real key to our going deeper into this pattern and living it more harmoniously.